It is Wednesday in the middle of September 2022, and today they have told us that who have win the Swedish election, and it is they win a little bigger than yesterday when I was talking that the right side, the political system on the right side won. And that means the Nazis party going to have much to tell, to make. I don't know yet what will happen, but they will, of course. They are the biggest party on the right side, and they going to have very much decision for them to be okay to change Sweden. But I don't know how much it will affect me as find out that I am Jewish person. Like I have said it before, that they will first start with the Muslims that is here, and I maybe can see somehow it will continue in November when I'm going to Israel. I maybe can see what's going on then, with God's help, with a host in heaven going to tell me what's going on. I know for sure that they will tell me what they can see, and they see everything, and they hear everything, so they gonna tell me what to do. So it's a little change in Sweden than what we had before. The Nazi party was on its move. Last time we have election we have election every 4 years, and they were on the way up, but not as now. It's very much going on with who is the Swedish, who is Swedish, and what is Swedish, and this question is going on now, and I can see it as it was in Germany before the Second World War. This talking, I think it's similar to what was going on before the war come, and they have promised very much things, this Nazi party, and that's the same. The Hitler did the same, say very much great things that should happen in Germany. So I feel like I start to have my mother's life like it was in her time here in Sweden. Even if we were not in the war, it affects us. That's what it does. Even if we don't go in war, even if we don't don't claim that even if we don't say so much about what's going on in Sweden, we be affected of the decision that have been made, and it's gonna be many change in the law, in the rules, and what the police is can do and not do, and those things. It's gonna be very much change, as the Nazi party is the second biggest now in Sweden. So it's rare for us. It's something that we have not been into like now. And so I think it has something with that. Maybe it was in July or August 2022 that I heard from the spirit world that I should take a flight to Israel. And I didn't know why I heard it, that I should do that. And then in the same time, one cousin to me that I look at what he's writing, and he say that in late August or in the beginning of August, he was saying that if I win on the lottery, I'm going to, and he should buy him a very nice car. He wrote that, and then I wrote to him that if I win in the lottery, I'm going to live in Israel. As I wrote that to him, and then I did this lottery that he had he have done the pay for the lottery. So I went into my lottery, and I saw that I had no money in the account to pay any lottery ticket. So I go to my bank account to transfer the money for a lottery ticket, and I saw it was something strange with my bank account, because I had got about $3,000 without I didn't know where it come from, but it was there in my bank account. So I wrote that on Facebook. I bought a lottery ticket, but I wrote that I have already win money on the lottery without paying the lottery, because I had $3,000 on my bank account. There is, and so as I have heard that I should take the flight to Israel, then I decided me to buy an airline ticket as soon as I could. Immediately in that day when I had the money, because I was scared that the money should go away. So I bought me a flight ticket to Israel without knowing what I should do there in Israel. And then some days later on, I heard that I should touch the Golden Gate. It was told in the air to me. So I knew that, and I started to look at Golden Gate what it was, because I didn't know, and find out that the Muslims people for maybe 100 years ago or maybe more have blocked everything, because Christian people say that Messiah should come there in that gate, and so they lock it in, so you can't touch the Golden Gate. And then I was thinking that they know in heaven that you can't touch the Golden Gate. And I was saying in one episode that I was thinking I should take a ball, a small ball, like table tennis ball, and pretend that I drop it there of mistake, and then it could touch the Golden Gate. But then I come to know that the Golden Gate is not what you can see. The Golden Gate is only a fragment of it under the Golden Gate that you can see. So you can't touch it. You have to dig down in the soil for to come to the Golden Gate. So that make me understand that it's not about physical. It's a spirit thing. It's symbolic to touch the Golden Gate, and then I find this with Mary, Virgin Mary's parents. They met each other in that Golden Gate that is not visible anymore. Under the ground, it was a gate there for real, but it's gone, as it is more than 2,000 years ago. So it's only if digging down there, it told that if digging down there maybe is a pole there from the old Golden Gate that can be digged up. So that I understood that it's not it's not literally, it's a spirit thing, it's a symbolic thing. And when they met there, the Joachim and Anna, the parents of Virgin Mary, met there, and an angel come and say to them that Anna should have a baby in her womb, a daughter, a girl, and that girl should carry something special, like Jesus Christ, that baby should be. So that's how Mary, Virgin Mary, and her mother, they are the beginning of everything that took place there in the Golden Gate. So it's symbolic that it was the start of something special should be there. And of course, I have never thought it was God. Jesus is not God, but he is a prophet that was born there, and it be a start of all these spirit things. Jesus is the first to receive the spirit in him. Uh, he didn't had God coming down to him, and God didn't stood in front of him and told him that he should be a prophet, and that he should be a messenger from God to him. God never stood in front of Jesus. God was talking from heaven about Jesus when he was about 30 years old, and was baptized in the water. And when he come up on the dry land, then it was a voice that say that Jesus was the beloved Son of God. And so it was not that Jesus saw God. He heard the voice from God talking about him. But I have seen God when I was up in heaven, and God sit on a throne, and he pointed me on my shoulder like they do with the people that be nobles and princes, that the king or the queen take this stick they have, the golden stick they have in their hand, and then they put that stick on the shoulder, and sometimes I'm sorry for sneezing, and sometimes they do it on the head. Sometimes it's only on the shoulder, but sometimes they do it on the head also. It's depend on what their ritual they have. So that did God to me when I was standing in the front of his throne. But Jesus was didn't got that kind of things that I got. So he was told that it was like a white spirit that was in the air, and from that it looked like a dove, but it could be an angel, it could be something else that come white down. And then the voice was saying that he was the beloved Son. So it's different. It's different between Jesus and me in these things. But what Jesus did, he had this prophecy, and he did what God wanted him to do in 3 years. But for me, it's have been 22 years. So I don't know what will happen, but I know I live in the last generation. So this is the end of life. But in what way it should be after, I saw a question about it this morning. What life will be after life? That uh, it's we are taken care of after life. We are taken care of. We don't need to think like that. What will happen to us after life? Because it's already been in your plan. They know already who is going to touch the golden gate, and they know who is going to stand in front of the court in heaven, and they know everything what's going to happen with you. It's for most of the people, is it the free will that you can choose to go into the pit, and you can choose if you want to go to God. That is a free will, and but for me is have it not been that, because my plan here on earth was already done before I come down here on earth. For me, is it lots of different from other people, but for ordinary people, is it that you can choose to walk the good path and do what you should do, because you know that inside you what is right or what is wrong. That consequence in a short time that you have already in you. So you know what, if it's not that you, it can happen that you have got an error in your brain before you were born, when you be born, and that you can't help, that you can't choose. So, but most of us people, most people have the knowledge of wrong or right to do. So those that is on the bad side, they have chosen that. It's not that someone have trick. It's something you have choose, because you have choose who you are staying with. You have choose to have your friends in that way that take you to wrong places, and you have choose. You have parents that have been very bad, and they have drinking, doing drugs, or whatever they have done. But you could have run away from it. You could run away so someone could help you in this, or you could deny it in front of your parents and say, I don't do that, I don't drink that, I don't want that in me, and that is something you could have avoid. You could have said no to it. It's very few that have been so young so they couldn't do anything to avoid it. Most children have been old enough to could say, no, I don't do it, or that you go to another person, to someone you know in your family or someone you trust, and say that my parents force me to take those things and I don't want to take that, so help me. So that there is, and I had this in when I grew up. I I got alcoholic and and could smoke when I was about 10 years old, but I say that I don't want it. I don't want it. And then I go out and I start to drinking because my friends was drinking, and I could have stayed at home and not drinking when I didn't have my parents at home when I was 10 years old. Uh, my father was divorced from my mother, and my mother take care of her business from early morning till evening, so I could make up my mind to not drink. But then when I started to wanted to go out, then I have to drink because I was too frightened to walk out without be drinking. And my mother, after divorce from my father, my mother be together with a man, and the man was living with us in the weekends, and he bought alcoholic things to me, so we sit and drinking together, he and me, on Saturdays. So he started to make me drinking, and I could have said that to my mother that he did that, and but I didn't do it because of other things in my life that I have say about my brother that did this sexual invites, touching me in a way he shouldn't, and do bad things. And when I said that to my mother, she said that I should be quiet. I should not talk about it. That it was okay to do it. So when these men start to buy alcoholic to me, uh, I didn't say to my mother. I drink it, and then I ran out drunk in the evening, and was not with my mother and her fiancé, and come home drunk and very bad. It was a bad life when I started to walk out, but it was time for me to go out, and I didn't have any friends, so I had to be drunk for to could go out in the darkness, and I was in many problems when be by myself walking outside, but no one care, and that how it was. It have been all my life that no one care what I'm doing. So that's ended year 2000 when I should ended my life, and in that way I ended my life because instead of going into the water and kill myself, God come and God come and change my life. So I get another life when I was 48 years old. I got a new life because of God. I was not going to be one of those that make suicide. That was not in God's plan for me. So I know God have already a plan for me. And like my mother say that to me, that an angel come, and when they carry her out from the hospital to where she should have a surgery for to open up and take me out from her womb, then the stars come down and touch her and greet her for the child that should be born. So that was already done, the plan, even if it was very, very frightened, it was very cruel, and it was abusive as a child. But I also come to know how to survive, so that I use in the United States when I go homeless. But in before 2000, I didn't know what to do. I was confused, and the devil was on me so much. So I only thought it was the only way was to go out in the water and kill myself. But that was not what God wanted for my life. So I know God have a plan for me that is very special from other people. So um, and I tell you that I find a man in Israel and in Holon, where I have been. 2016 I was in Holon in Israel. I was there at the Israelites Samarian people and talked to the leader there, and it turned not out so well, because he didn't understood when I say. He asked me how I could find him, and I say that God told me, and God have told me to go and meet him. And he only laughed. He thought it was not true. So he denied God in that way. Shema. They call God Shema in Israel Samarian people. And this man, he lived in Holon, but he was not the Israelite Samarian person. He was Jewish, and he said, "You were to a sect," he said. So he was against those people, and it was interesting. He was only about 1 year older than me, so we were in perfect age, and but we're talking about Jewish in Israel, and I get some advices from him, talking to him in my telephone to him, and but then he say that he was into Kabbalah, and I told him that God have told me that I should not go into Kabbalah. I have been looking at it. I have been in some classes for Kabbalah, And it's what I have told you, to understand this, to be awake. Because there was, in Kabbalah, there was things that was right. They thinking the same I have experienced. They told me. But then it was, half of it was not that I could accept it. That was not right for me. Half of it was right and half was wrong. And that is what I'm telling you, that if that what you believe in, if it's not things that you can explain and accept as true in what they are saying, then is it not right for you? That's not your belief system you should be in, because you should feel with your whole heart that this is the right place. That's the right thing they are talking about. If you have a little doubt about what's going on in that church or in that belief system, you should know, you should take a step back and not go into that kind of places. So that's I say that to him, this man, and I think that I don't know yet, because it was today that it happened. Uh, because I say that to him, that God have told me that I should not go in that black tent there where they are and doing this Kabbalah. And then I say, I have been 3 times in Israel, and I have trying to find Kabbalah center. And then 2016 I took a taxi and said to the taxi driver to drive me to the Kabbalah center in Tel Aviv. I live in Tel Aviv. I stay in a hotel in Tel Aviv 2016. So I took a taxi to Tel Aviv Kabbalah center. But even if I stand at that house, couldn't I find where to go in? Where is the door to the Kabbalah center? There was no door. So God have hidden it for me. That means that he don't want me to go into Kabbalah center, because I never have found it. If God have wanted me to come into Kabbalah center, he should have shown me the door, and it should be open. It should be people there that I could see and go in there. But it was like it was closed. There was no door into that big house. It was the center was in a 15-floor house, like that, a big building. But I didn't find it. So that I say that to this man, and I think he didn't like that I say this about Kabbalah. So he will not be the man I'm going to meet in Israel. I don't think so. If it will be that he want to meet me in Israel, then I tell you in next episode. But today is it that we know that the Nazi party is the next second biggest political party in Sweden now, and things is going to change now. So thank you for listening. Now, I wanted only to tell you this tonight, that it's more to think about with Israel. It doesn't matter what happened. My first step is to take the flight to Israel. That's what I need to do, and I have the money for to stay at the hotel at least 1 month. But I am told to do 2 months. So I will see where the second month laying where I'm going to stay will come from. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.